Hello, friends. I am Rose. Welcome to Story with Blue Lady, where we bring you stories full of wonder and excitement. Let's get started. Today's story is The King and the Wise Man. Once upon a time, in the prosperous kingdom of Deloria, there lived a benevolent ruler, King Shulong. Under his reign, the people thrived in peace and abundance, enjoying the fruits of their hard work without fear of misfortune. The kingdom was celebrated far and wide for its wealth, fertile lands, and the kindness of its ruler. King Shulong was loved by his people not only because of his wise governance, but also for his efforts to ensure that everyone lived a content life. One day, King Shulong decided it was time to see more of his kingdom. He had heard many stories of the vast beauty and historical significance of the land. He was curious to experience it firsthand, so he resolved to embark on a journey to visit the sacred pilgrim centers and the historic places scattered throughout his realm. Unlike most rulers, who would travel in lavish chariots or on horseback, King Shulong chose to walk on foot. He wanted to meet his people face to face, to learn about their lives, and to understand their daily struggles and joys. This decision was met with great admiration from his subjects, who marveled at how humble and kind-hearted their ruler was. As the king journeyed from village to village, he was warmly welcomed by the people. They were overjoyed to see their ruler walking among them, treating them as equals, and listening to their concerns and stories. King Shulong was pleased with what he saw. The people of his kingdom were living well, the crops were plentiful, and there was a general sense of happiness. His heart swelled with pride, knowing that his efforts to rule wisely had borne fruit. However, as the days of his journey wore on, King Shulong began to experience a discomfort he had never anticipated. The roads were rough and uneven, filled with stones and pebbles that made walking increasingly painful. His feet, unaccustomed to such long travels, began to ache and swell. By the time he returned to his palace, King Shulong was exhausted, and his feet were in great pain. As he sat in his royal chambers, soaking his feet in warm water, the king couldn't stop thinking about the discomfort he had endured. If I, who am not used to such roads, have suffered this much, how do my people bear it every day? He wondered. His heart was filled with concern for his subjects, imagining the hardships they must face walking on the same stony roads he had traveled. Determined to do something about it, King Shulong summoned his ministers to discuss a solution. "My loyal ministers," the king began, "I have traveled far and wide across our great kingdom. I have seen the beauty of our land and the happiness of our people. But I have also felt the harshness of the roads. My feet are sore, and I fear that our people suffer the same pain daily. I cannot bear the thought of them walking on such rough roads. Therefore, I decree that all the roads in our kingdom be covered in leather to make them smooth and comfortable for everyone." The king's ministers were stunned by this order. Covering all the roads in leather would require a massive amount of animal hides, resulting in the slaughter of thousands of animals. Not only that, but the cost of such an endeavor would be astronomical, draining the royal treasury. They were hesitant to speak out against the king's kind-hearted, yet impractical idea. But one wise minister finally gathered the courage to approach him. "Your Majesty," the wise man began cautiously, "your concern for your people is noble, and we are all moved by your compassion. However, I fear that covering the roads with leather is not the best solution. Such an act would cause great harm to the animals of our land and cost a fortune. But I have another idea that I believe will achieve the same goal without such great expense or harm." Intrigued, King Shulong leaned forward. "Speak, wise one," he said. "What is your idea?" The minister smiled gently and replied, "Instead of covering the entire kingdom's roads with leather, why not cover just your feet? If you have a pair of shoes made from leather, your feet will be protected from the rough roads, and there will be no need to harm so many animals or spend so much of the kingdom's wealth." King Shulong was silent for a moment, considering the minister's words. As the wisdom of the suggestion dawned on him, a broad smile spread across his face. "You are indeed wise," he exclaimed. "Why had I not thought of this before? It is a simple solution, yet it solves the problem perfectly." The king immediately ordered that a pair of leather shoes be made for him and encouraged all his subjects to do the same. The people of Daloria rejoiced at their ruler's wisdom and practicality. They admired how he had been willing to listen to advice and make changes for the good of all, rather than stubbornly insisting on his original plan. From that day on, King Shulong's kingdom not only continued to prosper, but also became known for its ingenuity and resourcefulness. The people learned an important lesson from their wise ruler. Rather than trying to change the entire world to suit their needs, sometimes the best solution is to change themselves or their perspective. Moral of the story: we often blame our surroundings for our discomforts, wishing to change everything around us. But in reality, the change we seek must often start from within ourselves. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with more magical adventures. Until next time.